There's nothing worse than getting a brand new game and not being able to play it. For gamers today, this is sort of a reality with waiting for game updates before you can actually play. But back in 2013, something far worse happened to me with the game on the Xbox 360. Right from the get-go, it would almost instantly crash. And it wouldn't just be a one-time crash. No, this would be a recurring, almost consistent crash, where I practically couldn't make any progress, outside of the occasional times where it would give me a small break. I was basically locked out of my own game. And also, how does the Nintendo Wii U fit into all this? I'll explain, but first, this frustrating problem was my unfortunate experience with The Walking Dead: Survival Instinct. Now this is a game that you wouldn't even really think about today, as it's supposed to be the prequel to the TV show The Walking Dead, from a time when zombie media was so widespread. I thought it'd be fun, so when I bought a brand new copy for my Xbox 360 and went home to try and play it, I couldn't. Nothing would frustrate me more than being told I can't play my game, especially when the console's not even sure why. Clean the disc. But it's a brand new game! Maybe it is just a bad copy. So I go back to the store and exchange it for a different new copy. The same thing happened. Go back to the store again and pray that a third copy works. At this point, I just gave up and eventually traded it in for something else, which was the last time I touched the game. Up until about 2 years ago. Remembering that issue I had, I tracked down and bought a copy off of eBay. All those years had passed. Maybe it was okay now? Wishful thinking. So what now? Taking the console's advice and cleaning it with a cloth wouldn't end up doing anything. What was odd though was how once it crashed, you absolutely couldn't even get the game to load up again, until the console had been off for a little while. Turn it back on, and maybe it'll load. Only to be sidelined with that damn error screen again. So, I turned to the internet. Multiple users posted videos about the game, including those on the Xbox 360, and not one of them having issues. One person even stated that their copy running from the disc worked perfectly fine. I figured if the game were that problematic, there would have been an uprising by the people that bought it back in 2013. So something had to be wrong on my end. Now the Xbox 360 has a feature which was fairly new for consoles at the time, where you could install the game to your console's hard drive, allowing for some sped up loading times, while also not having to wear out your disc from normal gameplay quite as much. It wouldn't install if I had just come from the crashing error, but upon a powered off rest and a fresh boot once again, and maybe even after about a dozen attempts, it would install, and it would play perfectly fine for the entire game. I could have just done that all those years ago! Well, at least I get to play the game now, though I feel it's not one of those games you'd play over and over again too much. I did have some fun with it, and there were even a couple glitches I came across. At the end of it all, I finally got to play the game I was locked out of all those years ago. But that still doesn't explain the part where the disc won't be read properly. I mean, I've had a collection of Xbox 360 games for a while, and they've all worked fine, except this one. The console has had no issues playing other games, playing online, downloading stuff, nothing. My 360 is even fully updated to this day, so any problematic updates from years past would be irrelevant. The problem made even less sense the more I thought about it. I thought that maybe it was some issue with a particular model of the 360 I owned, the Xbox 360 Slim from 2010, and I just so happened to know a guy who also has the exact same model. A longtime good friend of mine allowed me to borrow his console to test, and it worked perfectly fine, of course. I even put my hard drive in his 360 to see if that caused anything to happen. After all, I had to rule out any possibilities with accessories that came from my console. But still, there was no issue at all. After additional tests, it would end up feeling more and more like a fruitless endeavor, testing various different things between my friend's console and mine, with the same copy of the game. Maybe that's because it was a fruitless endeavor, I mean, the game literally worked when installing it to the hard drive. So was it really that necessary to find out why the disc doesn't work on my 360? What's curious even still is how it was able to install the game to the hard drive. You know, once I finally managed to get it working. If it was a disk reading error, wouldn't it have made a bad installation, as it lacked the ability to play the content from that disk, rather than resulting in a flawless rip? Without having a knowledgeable modder, console tinkerer, or maybe even an IT specialist, I don't know if I'd ever find the answer I was looking for. What makes my console so special? Then something occurred to me, not about the reason behind the problem, but what if I wasn't the only person with a similar issue? Rolling the clock back to November 2014 and shifting gaming brands for a second, Nintendo would release Super Smash Bros. For Wii U. Everyone that bought the game would have a blast with a new title. Everyone except for one Wii U user, T-Man. The problem T-Man was having? All his characters looked like this.
What? No. Please.
This wasn't right. The characters were all very severely deformed. Of course, when a game doesn't play like you expect it to, and may overall hinder your gaming experience, you're gonna be upset about it. Which T-Man absolutely was. He'd post multiple pictures and videos online, documenting this unusual behavior. Those that saw T-Man's posts ranged from confusion to wanting to buy his console because it was the only one in the world like that. Seriously, T-Man bought a second copy of Super Smash Bros. For Wii U, only to be met with the exact same glitch again. After recalling this incident, I came to the theory that perhaps whatever went wrong with T-Man's Wii U, maybe something similar happened to my Xbox 360 when it went through production, and you wouldn't have even noticed if you didn't put in that particular game, no matter which copy you get. While my issue may not have been functionally playable, unlike T-Man's perplexing predicament, the similarities between our two issues were striking. In fact, while I was writing the script for this video, a user on Reddit named YankeesFanIn714 stated that their day one Xbox 360 completely rejected Madden 06, with these three being the only demonstrations I've seen of consoles straight up failing to play one particular game correctly, with two of them confirmed to be a console issue rather than a problem with the disc. It's more than likely one of those one-off mistakes, considering so many game consoles are produced. Some of them are bound to come out with some form of errors. For me, it was about not being able to read from a disc, a game that, at best, had barely managed to scrape a 50 out of 100% rating from some critics. Will I ever know what's causing this very particular problem? More than likely not, but I figured the situation was too weird to not post anything online about it. But if you enjoyed this video and want to see more like it, share your thoughts in the comments below. With that being said, thank you for watching, and until next time, take care and peace.